What is going on, guys? I want to go over some trade / release candidates for the Philadelphia Eagles from obviously training camp into preseason. What can the Eagles pull the trigger on if they really have to? We'll find out. So let's go over the list. What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey SHAKESQUAD coming, guys, with a video now. So I want to go over some trade / release candidates. I know some of these might be realistic, unrealistic, speculation, if I'm just speculating a little bit with some of these. But definitely, I'm looking at true prospects on this team right now, legit prospects on this team right now that I could see really being traded or released by the start of the season. I think the first one we have to talk about is Andre Dillard. As much as he played pretty solid last year for taking over for Jordan Mailata for a few games. Again, didn't play great, he was very solid. I don't think the Eagles have treated Andre Dillard the right way since he's been drafted here. He was redshirted his first year with Jason Peters already in the building when they drafted a tackle in the first round in 2019, which I don't know why they did it. I understand they add more to the trenches, but with Jason Peters already here, I don't know why they did it. But redshirt his first year, played 3 to 4 games, played a right tackle for 1 game, kind of blew his confidence. I feel like the Eagles really did him dirty at the end of the day, but I felt like he played really solid last year. Last year of Andre Dillard's contract. So going to his 5th-year option next year, if the Eagles want to acquire him again, he's going to cost over $12 million. So if the Eagles feel like they want to trade him, if feel like if there's an injury that happens around the league with a tackle or something to a certain team, will Howie actually pull the trigger on this? Maybe. I mean, there's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is you probably get a good draft pick for him, maybe a 3rd to a 2nd round pick, maybe a 3rd round pick, I'll say the most as of right now, just in case. It just depends. If a big quality starter goes down, I think Dillard can actually pan in there, maybe start for another team. So you never know what could happen. This is a guy that the Eagles didn't even have a pre-draft visit with. I mean, obviously, coming out of the draft, he was one of the best blocking, probably the number 1 blocking tackle, which really didn't make sense for us because, like I said, we had Jason Peters already in the building and kind of ruined him a little bit as a player, and his confidence did not really pan out too well. And then obviously we've had some injuries with him too. So it hasn't been picture perfect with him, but definitely something realistic and maybe something that just probably wouldn't happen because really behind Jordan Mailata, besides Andre Dillard, you don't really have much. LaRaven Clark, I think you ended up getting last year coming off an ACL from the Colts, and then he ended up getting hurt another 2 times. Which was kind of crazy. So, something to really think about if the Eagles would pull the trigger. Look, if there's a good draft pick involved and the Eagles are not keeping Andre Dillard for $12.5 million, which I highly doubt it next year, the Eagles are going to definitely be in the market for another left tackle. Not in free agency, but definitely in the draft next year if they want to get another guy. Unless they want to put Driscoll at left tackle, maybe switch to the left side because I know he's played the left side at Auburn. Driscoll might not be holding that right guard spot much longer with Samalo and Cam Jurgens in competition at the right guard spot, so we'll see. Secondly, it's obviously the obvious one is going to be Gardner Minshew. Okay, now Gardner Minshew is, I think, above average backup quarterback. What he did in 2020 with the Jaguars with a really bad roster, I thought he played really well, and he wanted to become the franchise quarterback before they drafted Trevor Lawrence. And the Jaguars said, "Nah." Front office was like, "Nope, we're not doing it." So the Eagles traded a 6th-round pick for him last year, and taking over for that Jets game. Once he got that taste of winning, I felt like he wanted to keep playing. There was rumors he went upstairs to the front office, say if Jalen Hurts is going to be out a few more weeks, I want to play more, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like Minshew wants to go to another team. That's what I feel like. If all else is said and done, if they keep Minshew, then, he'll be a quality backup quarterback for us. But you have Carson Strong in the building. You have that guy Sinnott. That will probably most likely be a camp arm. But if they feel like Carson Strong is playing very well throughout the scrimmages, training camp, and obviously into the preseason, and feel like he's done enough to be like, okay, maybe we could deal Gardner Minshew and put him on the trade block, which I think he's always been on the trade block kind of to see what's out there, and some quality backups or quarterbacks do go down. You never know. So I think this is very realistic till not just now, but till week 9 of the trade deadline. If, there's a team out there that gets an injury at quarterback and they need someone for multiple weeks, and Gardner Minshew is a little bit over $900,000 for the year. So he's very cheap when it comes to his salary and against the cap. But this is a guy where I'm not giving him up for nothing. I'm trying to get a second to a third round pick for him instantly. Okay, I'm not giving him away for a 4th, a 5th, a 6th. It's not happening because I think he's above backup quality material at the quarterback position, and I think he can win you a lot of games. Not saying that Gardner Minshew is going to win you a championship. Not saying he's going to win you a Super Bowl, win the NFC, gets the NFC championship game. But I could say this: he can win multiple games for you. The more he plays, the better he gets, and he can work in any system. Okay, so Gardner Minshew is definitely a real possibility going into training camp / preseason and obviously until week 9 of the trade deadline, depending on the health of a lot of teams. Lastly, the one that we're not going to be surprised over, Jalen Reagor. I feel like he's definitely going to be gone. There's no doubt about it. Reagor is not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle. I said before training camp, it could be before these preseason games. I feel like before the regular season, I think Reagor is a big release candidate. And I think with, the Ravens calling the Eagles during the draft about Jalen Reagor and that Chuck Clark trade was about to go down, Howie didn't pull the trigger because I felt like Howie Roseman was really trying to get more out of Reagor, like a 3rd or a 4th round pick. You're not getting that. Okay, I don't think you're getting a 3rd, 4th for Reagor. I think you're getting maybe a 4th, maybe a 5th. A 4th to a 6th is probably more realistic. But don't try to trade for him for more when you know that he's not panning out. And other teams are gonna be like, that's way too much. And I would say it's way too much. I'd give away maybe a 6th round pick for him if that's even the case. And I think that is way too much because with 300 yards receiving and not even be able to pan out on special teams is. It's kind of, he's got a lot of crap going on in his personal life. And, I just don't think he has a chance. I mean, usually you give these receivers 3 years, but he hasn't done enough for me between his social media, fighting with the fans. It's just way too much. His psyche is what is going to be the death of him in the NFL, where he's not going to be a starting wide receiver. It's not going to happen. He should go to another roster and compete with a different roster with different guys. Different players. So, that's what I think they should do with him. I know you don't trade for A.J. Brown. You don't move J. Jaw to tight end. You don't trade for A.J. Brown. You don't do any of that and sign Zach Pascal, do any of that stuff unless you're literally trying to upgrade this wide receiver position and Reagor is phased out of this offense. I'd be shocked. J-Jaw is already done. He's not going to make it in front of Jack Stahl and Grant Calcaterra to be at the backup tight end to Dallas Goedert. And you have Reagor right now, not even, they have 12 wide receivers on roster right now because of camp and what's going to happen in preseason. But he just has no chance. I've given up. I wish I could give him more time. And look, if they kept him for another year, great. But it's just, I don't even want him on the active roster. I really don't even want him as a backup because what does he bring? I feel like John Hightower being hurt is more valuable right now. I feel like Derek Barnett being here this year is more valuable than him right now. That's how low I feel about Jalen Reagor going into this season. I feel like he's going to be a big release candidate. Trade, I think it's kind of dry right now. I think teams are going to wait for cuts. If there are teams interested in Reagor, maybe they'll wait until he's cut, or maybe a team will be a little bit more aggressive and they don't want him go through the waiver wire and whatever. Maybe they will waive him and let him go through the waiver wire, whatever the case may be. I don't care about the 2 point something to $3 million in dead cap we're going to get. The Eagles will eat that up easily, but. It's unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate, and there's just no room for him anymore. So Reagor would out of this 3-man list. I think Reagor would be the ultimate release / trade candidate out of everybody that more likely is not going to be here. At least with the other 2 players I talked about, there is some worth, some value. You know what I mean? Even with Andre Dillard, I think he has some value now as long as he stays healthy. I think number one thing is these guys need to stay healthy. And obviously, if Reagor gets hurt, they'll just release him regardless. So, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about just the prospects in general. And if there's anybody else on the team you think could be traded or released, from this team and someone that's not going to pan out. You guys let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.